What is going on, everyone? This is the Stonk CEOs podcast. This is our first podcast that we've ever created, ever. And I am John. I am El Prez of Stonk CEOs. And these are the guys by my side that will be doing this podcast every single week. We'll probably be launching these videos every Sunday, so stay tuned if you guys want to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, I'm Alex. I am a partner of John with the Stonk CEOs. We started back in December. We're really happy to start this. We figured that we needed to do something like this pronto. So I'm from Vegas, and me and John are in the same house right now. So we're having fun. He's downstairs, I'm upstairs, and hopefully we can get this going and on a roll.
Yeah, and I'm Josh. I kind of, work with Alex and John on their projects on Discords. During the day, I'm a day trader and a sales manager, and at night, I'm super dad for two kids. So
Super
let's get
dad.
it.
He
All
swears
right,
on the
my name is Caleb. I'm recently just hopping on board with all these guys here. Recent graduate of University of Connecticut, and I'm working as a consultant.
All right, so we're just gonna every single week we're just gonna be covering a few topics, and then we're also gonna be doing a Q&A section at the end of every video. So if you guys have any questions for future videos or anything of that sort, just drop them in the comments, and then we'll try to answer 3, 4, 5 of them, maybe even more, depending on how many we get at the end of every episode, and we'll do a around the horn type of thing. But today, the video, the click link that you guys all clicked was AMC to 100,000 and our top 3 stocks for 2021. That was not clickbait. I mean, I don't think AMC is going to go to 100,000, but we will be talking about meme stocks today as well as our top 3 stocks. But before we get into that, we are going to be talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in general, in regards to where it's going and everything around that. And Caleb, you are a huge crypto guy. You've been taking a lot of you've just been doing a lot of research on crypto recently, and I know you were telling me that last night if you wanted to start the conversation about what you think is going on with crypto and everything.
Yeah, sure. So for you guys that are listening to this at a later date, right now it is a June 18th, Friday. We just had a massive market crash as a crypto crash. Bitcoin currently sitting around 35.4. At a kind of key support level itself, down to roughly 7% today. Some more, some less, but the entire market is very, very red. And it looks like we're gearing up to make a kind of head and shoulders pattern if you're looking at the daily from the 7th onwards. But we're in what I like to call a crab market. It's not a bear, it's not a bull, and that's why everyone's so confused right now, is that it's a snip market where we go up and all the bulls get snipped, we go down, all the bears get snipped, and everyone that loses is us, the retail traders, and the winners are the big guys, the whales, that know exactly what they're doing and exactly what they're manipulating. So that's what we're looking at right now. We had the key resistances of 42. We almost went up and broke it. We barely missed it. And then we have 31.4, which we bounced off earlier this week. So we're literally just range bound for the last month and a half. Where we're going to go, no one knows at this point. It's really up to the market manipulators and people that run this. But crypto itself, I love saying this, is that regardless of the price of cryptocurrency, the wheels of progress don't stop itself. Something like Chainlink, HBAR, Polkadot, Ethereum, all these things are still producing regardless of their price point. So crypto's here to stay. It's just a matter of the price. It's going to move into a bull market, bear market, what we're going to do next.
Yeah, and I'm a strong believer in crypto in general, and I believe that it's the future. And honestly, it's gonna create a paradigm shift of some sort in our money and banking system, or financial institutions all as a whole. So I don't trade crypto. I usually just hold it long term. I do research on progress or on different projects. I have a long position in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and what I'm basically doing during these types of pullbacks or dips or market crashes, what you sort of say, when we see the last month Ethereum's declined 30%. And I mean, that's fucking volatility if you ever never heard of it. But I'm just cost averaging every single week into my positions. I'm doing about $150 to $200 a week, regardless of what the price is at. And then if we do see these more bigger dips like we did see today with Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm doing obviously larger cost averaging positions. I'm not sure if that's what you guys are doing, but I'm just a huge long-term guy, and that's the only way that I can be sane with a large volatility that we're witnessing right now during this cycle.
Yeah.
So that's where you're at, John. You do long term, so I kind of do the exact opposite. I'm short term. so like what Caleb said earlier, what I would say, just like the stock market, we're consolidating. So on these spikes and then valleys, what I'm doing is I'm selling at the top. As soon as I see that thing starting to come down, I sell. I buy down here. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to last too much longer. I think it's going to crash. I think it's going back down to 10,000,
Jeez, bro.
10,000.
That's kind of
15,000.
extreme.
I mean, there is support down there. That's like
It
the
is what it
last
is.
call support. But
And I think it's going that way.
When did it reach that 10K mark? Like back in like early
September
Was-
last year, something like
Yeah,
that. If not
was
earlier
it the
than
end
that.
of last year? Is when it was
That was
like around
before. That was like beginning of the bull run last year.
Yeah, dude,
That's
March lows we saw it get to like 6,500, and then
Yeah, I
like we
remember
started
that.
slowly seeing it get over 12,000, and then back to all-time highs back into 2018, which was around 20,000. And I was actually watching a video the other day with Andre Jick, and he was saying that historically, if you're the type of guy that just looks at these historical charts and follows previous bull cycles, it's never once happened where at the end of a bull cycle it dipped lower than all-time highs of the previous bull cycle, and that
Yeah.
support is 20,000. So if we go below 20,000, then I don't understand like what is going to happen next.
We're going to go below
Whoa.
20,000 because if it starts, well, I shouldn't say that. No, we're definitely going to, but it will because what's going to happen before there wasn't as many retail investors as there are now in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So now once it gets down to that 25,000, you're going to have panic selling like crazy. That every single person's going to sell. You're just going to see it just crash through support.
I don't know. For me, if you look at the market breakdown, so if you look at the 10K for Coinbase when they IPO, they actually give the breakdown between retail institutional investors in 2017 versus now, right? So in 2017, 80% of the market, like 80, was retail, which is just astounding. And that got 20,000 to start off with, just pure retail, which is like you and me kind of people. Now, 65% of the entire cryptocurrency market is like institutional investment. This is run by big money now. So we got fleeced, right? Like it dropped from 60K. I was like telling my buddies back in March or late March, early April, I was like, this is concerning that we're just like not moving, but like all the alts are running. And it just looked like it was topping out, and obviously it was with the Wyckoff formation and everything like that. But for me, what really is concerning is that if we do break that 20K limit, and even if we don't stay around 30, if moving a little higher, it doesn't become viable anymore to mine Bitcoin, which is a huge thing, right? Because Bitcoin, actually, after each halving, right, it goes on a huge run, it increases in price, and as you said earlier, it kind of stays on top of that previous high, right? But if we crash down, what's the incentive to mine? Because at that point, you're losing money because of GPU shortage and start off with chip shortage. On top of it, electricity is only going up. It's just going to become concerning. And then a lot of these, like Ethereum network, Polkadot, they all run on these gas fees and people mining. So it's just like, if we see this major crash caused by institutions, this could be crippling for the entire cryptocurrency market for a while. That's I'm personally concerned about even a possibility of another super cycle right now, considering what could possibly happen with the prices.
Yeah, dude, and like that's just market manipulation at its finest because they can release all these FUD articles they want, and like their goal is to get the retail to basically paper hand and just sell their positions so they can just swoop up all of all the market share basically of this entire crypto market, and like that's their goal. Like I was telling Alex, I tell him a lot, and I tell all my other friends is that like the way like you sustain control is having control over the money supply of like a government, and like the government controls the money supply of like the US dollar because it has zero intrinsic value and its only influence is from governments. So if these like corporate elitists and governments and financial institutions can take over as much market share as possible of these different crypto projects that have longevity and are going to be here to stay in the next 5 to 10 years, then there's basically going to sustain power and control over us. Like when Bitcoin perhaps gets to 1 million and their market shares surpass gold's market cap and stuff like that. So like,
Yeah.
I'm buying. I'm not listening to what the media is telling us, and that's just like my sake.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So
Now tell us
Caleb-
what you think, Alex.
No, yeah, I was actually gonna ask Caleb a question because like me, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying and what John's saying because I'm more of like a long-term investor in crypto and in stocks. Like most of my money is in long-term stocks and crypto, but I don't have a lot of crypto. Like I want to delve my feet more into that. But Caleb, if you were me or like any of our listeners that are listening right now that don't have like a lot of crypto, would you start like loading up like right now, or would you wait a little bit?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Right now is honestly the worst time because, I mean, if you enjoy gambling, right, just go to Vegas.
Yeah,
We're
here
in a
already.
crap market. We've been moving sideways for a full month, right? So If we break up above 42, we're bullish again. Well, I mean, like, I guess like 45, give a little buffer room. If we break below 31, we're bearish. But we have no clue where we're going right now. And on top of it, in bear markets, get this. Even your favorite Ethereum, your Chainlink, your HBAR, your Polkadot, from their all-time highs, even in a bear market, at best, you lose 85% of your value. At worst, you lose 98. That's the statistics. You lose a vast amount of money. And you can buy in the bear market right there. But until you get to that point, like 1-2 years from now, I wouldn't touch it. Unless we're confirmed back into a bull market, which is totally possible considering inflation, CPI, like everything that's come out recently of the Fed. Yeah. But we don't know. And I just say, like, it's not worth the risk currently. If you're in, stay in. There's no point in selling until, like, we break.
Also, a question for you, Caleb, too, on this is, do you think the Fed talking about the 80% capital gains on crypto, you think that kind of maybe caused that crash and then the flag that we're seeing now? Kind of around the same time.
I think what caused the crash, I'm confident what caused the crash is Elon Musk, right? Because he undermined the stability that is Bitcoin, right? Because then what happens in these markets where you start off, Bitcoin goes, and Ethereum goes, and the big alts go, and then the shitcoins go, and then everything dies, which you kind of saw, right? So it's kind of like a normal cycle in a sense, but it should have gone higher. But this institutional investors, why cough at the top? Anyways, Bitcoin now is not like the stable one you put money back into. I remember I was listening to a bunch of pundits, right, throughout the course of this market. It's like, oh, my end game is that I'm going to sell Ethereum, Polkadot, Chainlink, and throw it back into Bitcoin, right? We don't know if that's possible anymore, especially considering like the environmental consequences of Bitcoin and if it's going to be around. And that is why I think we're flagging, because we don't know what's going on. Like Elon Musk tweeted a few days back, and he was like, oh, like, if we get to this certain level where Bitcoin's cool now, like, yeah, sure, we'll accept it again. But it's like, long term, is that viable? Probably not. Like, Bitcoin's built on like a 2009, 2010 kind of like code that 10 years later is very, very poor for the environment. So it's just, we're very confused, as you can see through the crab market for the last month and a half.
Yeah.
So do you think then Bitcoin, with the price of Bitcoin, then do you think that's going to do you think it eventually will just go up because we'll look at it as a collectible more so than an actual payment system? Like John thinks it's going to the payment system and a financial.
I think it's going to be a store of wealth, just like an asset class in general, like a way for like people to hedge their portfolios rather than like investing in bonds or like, because like the bond market, you're yielding like 4% a year. Inflation is 3%, so like there's not much growth there. I think it's just going to be an asset class, and it's like Bitcoin's essentially math. Like that's what it's made up. Like it's just codes, and everything derived on this planet is math. So they think that it's like the best way to like store wealth, essentially, rather than like, would you rather store wealth that is backed by like math equations, or would you rather store wealth that is backed by like a corporate government that like is very corrupt? Like that's what I think Bitcoin is, and that's why I'm putting money into it every single week or every single month, what it so be. But I don't know, like I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was asking is like, so do you look at it as like some people, in order to store their wealth, 10 years ago bought those Ferrari GTOs that were one of 6 and are now, they bought them for 400,000 and now they're worth $6 to $18 million, and they'll always just go up because there's a finite amount of it. So is that what you're kind of saying with the Bitcoin? Like, you're going to put your wealth in there, and it's just going to keep going up because there's a finite amount.
I mean, the way I look at it is like how many people bought those cars versus how many people store money in Bitcoin. It's a network. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gotten to the point where, like, Bitcoin, like, there's so many people invested in it, and there's so many different, like, companies, corporations, and just retail investors and smart money, big money that are, like, that are for it, where like it's not going anywhere, and like that's where I see it. So like anywhere below like 30,000, I'm just gonna continue to buy it because I genuinely believe that it's not going anywhere. Even if they ban it in the United States, I feel like if it gets banned in the United States, then other countries are gonna adapt it. Like we saw El Salvador wants to adapt it, Cuba wants to adapt it. It's gonna be a snowball effect. All these different companies are gonna just throw Bitcoin on like essentially their balance sheet, what you like, and like all these other financial institutions as well. So like I'm just gonna continue to add to it, and like I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, we've already seen it though with all these other companies. We've had rumors of Apple. I don't know about Apple, but for sure Tesla's bought some and sold it. What's that?
Square.
Yeah,
Square. Huge. MicroStrategy. They're the largest holding. The Grayscale Trust, like
Yep.
they're an animal like that. Like I have the GBTC in my Roth, and they're looking at bringing on I think 31 different altcoins now onto their balance sheet for like different altcoins to invest in their trust, which is like absurd, but like honestly kind of genius.
So we say that like all these companies are buying it for their balance sheets, and then we brought in the talks about Elon Musk and what he thought about Bitcoin, and it was supposed that he got rid of those holdings, and we know he had them. Do you think maybe that was to crash the market and then bring in more so he can put more on his balance sheet because there's no legal thing saying he can't do that?
I have a very strong opinion on this. So, I think over the course of the last few months, right, and especially over the course of the last month and a half or so, since Elon made that one tweet that crashed the market,
Yeah.
the big whales, the market manipulators, these big guys of money, and you could see that, have used Elon and his tweets to move the market. They had pre-planned these moves, right? They were going to move it up or down regardless, and they waited till Elon tweets so they could use him as a scapegoat and move the fucking market any way they want. That's what's happening. I'm surprised more people haven't realized it yet, because now Elon's like manipulator. He's like, oh, the guy who everyone hates. No, Elon has no fucking clue what he's talking about. If you saw when he went on SNL, I was like, oh, Dogecoin's a hustle. Like, that's not what it is. Like, simply, that's not what it is. That's not what cryptocurrency is. He has no clue what he's talking about. He usually does, right? But I mean, if you look at like how he backtracked on the environmental causes of Bitcoin, like obviously if he did any minimal research beforehand, he would have known certain things, right? So he had no clue. He's not a market manipulator. This guy is worth what, like $100 billion? He has better things to do with his time than manipulate the cryptocurrency market. Like his wealth is 10% of the total market cap of crypto right now.
Well,
like that's astounding.
Yeah.
I think he thinks that it's funny because he's
I agree.
that meme guy. He just thinks it's kind of fun. And like, I don't know, he's just on Twitter all the time, so I just think that it's funny to do that kind of stuff.
I mean, dude, look at what he's doing with Mars. Like he wants to like adopt like a civilization on Mars, and every civilization has a money supply. Like this is like a very like far-fetched like theory, but like, what if he was like wasn't he like looking into like mining for like Bitcoin? Like he was, like adopting
gold.
And he like realized that it was just way too like he was too late to the party. Like he couldn't do that. He like Bitcoin has way too much power now where like he just can't like control it and like take force. But Dogecoin, the fucking founders that created it literally sold in like what 2015. Like they don't even hold like he I feel like Elon Musk is just manipulating like the Bitcoin market, and he's like trying to like low key like adopt Dogecoin like as his own and like use that as like his own money supply, so he has entire control on whatever the fuck his plans are in Mars. Like I don't know what he's gonna do there, like if he's gonna actually like try to like establish life and a civilization there. But like imagine if Dogecoin was like the money supply on Mars and it was like his currency. Like I just think he's like a narcissist, and like he's just like,
well, yeah,
fuck, who just
he
wants
said
power.
he said he wanted to go to Mars though, specifically to mine gold. So
Are you sure about that?
positive.
Yeah, actually, that's so funny.
Yeah.
He definitely just wanted to make his own crypto, right? And just doesn't have the time for it. Like, this guy's so busy. So he's like, oh, I'm going to Dogecoin as my own. So that's mine now.
Literally.
It's just mine now. I'm just taking it.
But like Dogecoin's a meme, so like let's talk about meme stocks. I know.
Yeah.
If you want to
Oh, boy.
conversation. You're a huge AMC guy, so like, what have you been doing this week
I'm
in the
a
market?
huge AMC guy, but back in January, John, me, you, and Luis were looking at the chart specifically. We had like no knowledge of, short squeeze and all this that's happening right now. But me, John, and Luis, or Havitz, whoever you want to call him, we're looking at this chart, and it was a daily. It was around like, what was it, John? Like $2.15 or something like that.
It was like $2.15, $2.08, like approaching $2.
Yeah,
like
approaching $2. And we like using technical analysis in our charts and everything. So we were noticing on the RSI, or the relative strength index, that it was getting like super oversold on the chart, which means just people are dumping it more, and it should be heading up soon. So we noticed that on the daily chart that it was heading there, and then the moving averages were crossing up. And we were like, oh, this is going to be an awesome like swing trade and everything. So we all loaded up on options and shares. I think we got both. I got both. I remember that.
I got both.
And that's where my nickname Paper Hands came in, because I definitely sold those only at 2x. But
Yeah.
we got into those, and that was like our biggest trade of the year, to be honest. When GameStop and AMC started gaining traction and everything at the end of January. But as of right now, I had to sell my AMC calls because they expired today. I was up like 4,000% on them, but now I had to sell them at 1,000%. But you know, I'm not complaining.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not complaining. I own hardly any shares anymore because I sold the shares that I bought back in January, but I have like 10. That's it right now. So those are up. Let me check actually. Let me see how much those
But
are
yeah,
up.
we literally got into AMC calls and shares when it triple bottomed at $2, and then I think it
Yeah.
dipped to like $1.92. But like I was in like 500 shares. I took $1,000 position, and then I got myself and my dad into 50-cent calls for 2022, and they were like $200 a contract. But Luis, the guy that Alex was talking about, he's an audio engineer by trade, and like he works on movie production, and he has like kind of insider information about all these different companies like AMC. And he was basically telling us, he was like, after that $750 million contract came in, like the bailout money from the government, he was like, AMC is not going anywhere. They're not going to
No.
go under. And they're working on a ton of Marvel movies right now, which have already been beginning to get released. And he was like, this is like an amazing opportunity to get into. So like we had the research behind it too. And the technical analysis was there. The volume was definitely there when it triple bottomed. So like, yeah, we got into calls and shares. And then like a week and a half after, GameStop short interest was like discovered by Wall Street Bets, and they
Yeah.
pumped that, they short squeezed that, and then AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia, all of them followed, and then my dad is still hodling those contracts up like 4,000.
That's awesome.
It's absurd, but like
That's awesome.
it was like a once in a lifetime like type of trade. Like the last time I saw something like that, besides like Kodak was a year ago, was like I can't even do something. It was like Kodak, and then like Hertz, and then
Yeah.
like AMC and GameStop.
Yeah. Going
Yeah, I
back.
was looking back at my trading. I keep looking back at my trading profile, right? And I see those alerts from AMC that I loaded up on, sold the contracts for 100%. You know, making what were they? $50 a piece. I sold them for like 112, something like that,
Yeah.
and they're still worth like 12 grand each. And I'm just looking back at it, going,
I
"Oh,
mean,
worst decision."
that always happens in traders, right? That's like exactly what happened to me. I thought I was like, it was awesome. Like I tripled my money just in the shares. I was like, oh, that's good enough for me.
Yep.
And then like the next day, it like doubled from there. But you know, you can't really time what's gonna happen in the markets, no matter what anyone
it's
tells you.
movement. That's the whole thing. It's like not just fundamentals here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's no
Well,
way.
that's the hard thing. That's why they're called meme stocks, right? There's really no fundamentals. It's just like what
Momentum.
everybody's getting hyped up on, and then it's like a fucking feeding frenzy. And
I
that's
mean,
what happens.
technically, what Luis was saying about how they're not going to go under, just thinking about it though, like growing up, going to the movies and everything like that, like I would hate just sitting at my house watching new movies. Like that doesn't sound appealing to me. I don't know about you guys, but
Well,
I don't want to.
you don't like sitting in your house on the couch with your little girl,
No,
just like watching
not a new
like
movie,
Frozen
though.
2?
No.
Come on.
I mean, dude, like we were in a pandemic for like a year and a half. Like now it's been like a year and a half. Like the way I looked at it too, like besides like what he said is like the second like we're fully out of the woods and like everything's open again, like people are gonna want to like go to malls again. People are gonna want to go to movies again and movie theaters. Like people want to do something that isn't just like in their house. So
Yeah.
like that would have been like a catalyst in itself for AMC. Like I was just like imagining like the revenue growth sales that we were gonna see from AMC box office sales like for like whichever the first quarter is after we're fully reopened. And like that's why I took a position. I was like I'm an idiot for selling because I was just like I got in at the bottom, but that's why you
Yeah.
can't sell the winners too quick, I guess.
I sold all my shares. I was like you, John. I didn't buy as much. I bought 250 shares and I sold them at $17 or yeah, 16.50. And that was almost the top, right? It hit like 21,
Yeah.
then it started coming down. I sell it. I think it was 17.50, and I thought I was like balling. I'm like, oh, dude, there's no way. For 3 months, I was like, dude, I hit the top. That's gangster. I did awesome. And then all of a sudden, it's hitting $70, and I'm looking at it going, are you kidding me? Like. I couldn't hold on to those.
It's a paper hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's me. Well, you, Josh, you're like the worst. You're worse than me, dude. Paper handing, because I was like alerting those
Get out of
AMC.
here with that.
I was alerting those AMC calls, and I was like, Josh, like I'm pretty confident in this. Do not sell these contracts, and you just sell them.
Yeah. Oh,
day
good.
later.
So I have someone telling me they're confident in a meme stock, and I should dump
Dude,
all my money into it.
I did so much. I did a lot of research on AMC. When
You
was
actually?
this? Like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Or no,
So I
when
did
was-
too.
When did that happen? Like mid
It happened
I
when
did a lot of
crypto
research
crashed.
on it
was like
too.
very corollary.
May.
The best research you could get was Wall Street Bets guys calling each other apes and retards. Like that
Okay,
was
no,
the higher
wasn't-
that conversation went is the higher the stock went.
That's not the research I did. I mean, kind of, but
You're looking at
I
them.
was
It's not
also
like
looking
it's
at.
like they invented the cure for cancer. AMC never changed. They were still
I mean,
AMC.
No, you still got to look at the short interest and see all these short sellers still shorting it. They're still shorting it, dude.
Yeah. Oh, they still are now. Yeah.
I'm like
Crazy.
95% confident this is gonna go above 100. Like
Yeah, I
that
agree. I
confident.
agree. I agree with you on that.
25.58% short interest.
It's like 15%.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
It's
the premiums of the contracts are just so ridiculous that I kind of like don't want to load up, even if I'm not confident. That's just a lot of money for like one contract. See, if I like got like a September call or something, it's like $2,000 or something just for one.
That's why you just gotta play shares.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can buy shares,
Yeah.
so, but
Well, like Alex genuinely believes it's going to $100. Like he's
I'm
There-
pretty
I think it is
confident.
too. I think it is too.
I'm
I
pretty
agree.
freaking confident, dude. That one day, I was in California that one day when it hit like $72, and me and my dad were like freaking out. I should have recorded it, but like it like printed all the way up to 72, and it like wouldn't stop. I would like get like chills like all over my body, cause like I showed you guys that screenshot. I was up like 17K at one point, from
Wow.
one contract.
yeah off of like a $1,000 contract. Or it was like an 800. It was how much
No,
was it?
Oh, it
cost
was like
me-
200, wasn't it?
It cost me like $150, I think, for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the next move is in terms of meme stocks? Is Geo, the
I've heard
private
of that.
prison company.
I have heard
Yeah.
of that. GEO.
So
So
Okay.
one, technically speaking, it's like in a massive descending triangle, right? So when it breaks out, it's gonna go stupid regardless. But just think about the concept of like buying a private prison stock. That's something like Wall Street Bets would totally latch onto. It's just like such a dumb, stupid concept, fundamentally wrong with America to start off with. And like, oh,
Yeah.
let's pump it.
Pump it.
So what is it again?
Uh,
You know more.
Geo.
Yeah,
It's
GEO. GEO, but
Yeah, I've heard.
private prison. What do you mean by that?
So they're already talking about it on Wall Street Bets, by the way.
Of
Yeah.
course
So do you know what private prison is?
no.
So
Yeah, my house.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
so public prison is like something run by the federal government.
Okay.
And it's a lot of tax money, it's a lot of tax dollars. So a lot of states just outsource that to private companies who treat their prisoners like absolute shit, right? They treat them very poorly, shit food,
Okay.
awful maintenance, but it's a for-profit prison instead of like a government-run prison. So they have like shareholders' interest that give their money back to
Oh,
like
I
the
see.
stock and everything like that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but the federal government prisons are still run for profit. Just we don't see it.
Yeah.
It all goes to the government.
But
But yeah,
typically,
I,
the private
I,
prisons are a lot worse.
yeah, I'm down. I'll load up. Now that you say that, I might buy some right now.
I'm
And then-
checking it out right now. And
This
it's
one is
pretty
GEO.
good in the wedge it's in.
Yeah, GEO. I have heard of it. I've seen it before, but I didn't really know what it was.
I'm gonna check it out
Oh,
right
you
now.
got iTub.
Right
You
now,
got-
we're talking about it a lot.
You got Josh getting into a stock called iTub, which I don't know.
iTub, baby.
What's that?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know what it is. I just bought them.
Because of the name.
Yo, did
iTub.
you see ORPH, Caleb? I know me and
Yeah.
Alex have.
Yeah, we
Dude,
saw
Nah, no, what's that?
Dude, look at
It
it for just 1
crumbled.
second. Yeah, it went up to like 70 bucks.
what
No,
is
it went
this?
up to like 90 bucks last week, and then it
Yeah.
started gaining like more volume than it did. I didn't look at it today. but-
Isn't it like a biotech too?
Yeah, it's a biotech company.
Yeah, it's like some.
There's a
random-
singular 15-minute candle, which is like just like a small dash at $75.
Yeah, because it got halted like 15 times that day. I was
There's also,
watching.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, John was in
like
the room with
Kodak.
me. I was like, man, this keeps getting halted, and like the buy orders are coming in for like $100. I was like, dude.
Dude, I was on TikTok live and I don't even know who said it, but someone was like, "Yo, can you check out like ORPH? Like I bought a few shares and I'm up like 150%." And I looked at the chart and ORPH was at like $20. And I was like, "Dude, I was like scale out. I was like, if you're up like that much in like that little amount of time, like at least like take off your initial." Like I was just being like one of those guys, like take off your initial, let the rest run, or like
Yeah.
I mean, like I was asking him if he was like in a Roth or whatever, like if it was like a tax-free advantage account. So like you can avoid capital gains tax, because if you were, then just like get out of that. Like it's 115, 120% in less than an hour. And then like I never heard of him again. And then after the live, me and Alex were just watching it print. It went to like $75, $90. Every single 5 minutes it was getting halted. And then every single time it was unhalted, it would just print again.
So Geo, going back to that Geo, I just took a look at it's up 6% on the day.
Right. Yeah.
And the options volume is a lot higher than some of the mainstream stuff I've seen, and they're cheaper, a lot cheaper.
Well, I mean, it is $7 to be fair.
Yeah, but with the volume, I would think there'd be a lot more, and with where the price is at.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
does
fair.
it move a lot? Because the volatility.
It's been moving down for the last 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Like a steady trend down.
Dude, my dark horse is LKCO. That's my like fuck around stock that I have. I have 500 shares in it. I'm not adding to it. I got in at $1.05. It's a Chinese tech company that does manufacturing for the EV. They have like certain like autonomous driving like technology for EV in China. And when Trump was president, he basically like, remember when he announced like that list of like 10, 12 Chinese companies that he wanted to get delisted from the NYSE? Yeah. That company was on it. And
he was never my president, so I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. Again, I was on TikTok Live, and someone told me to look into this company, and I was, and he had like connections with someone that worked for one of the companies that had like a huge partnership with LKCO, and he was like, dude, like this thing is gonna like beat their lawsuit in like the next couple of months, and it's gonna go back to all-time highs at around $11. And like you can look at their investor relations, like it's honestly like a pretty dope company, and like their technology's there. So like I threw 500 shares at it at $1, and like these past like 7 days it's just been printing, and as of Monday they beat their lawsuit, so like he was right on that. So like wow. This thing low-key might find Wall Street Bets' eyes, and it could pump. So
yo, you know what's totally gonna find Wall Street Bets' eyes? Luckin Coffee. You remember back in 2019? That is 100%. Like, it's still like not like OTC anymore. It's like on some random exchanges, but like people are gonna find that and it's gonna print. I swear to God. Like
you did a project on that, right?
I did. Yeah, it's a shit show behind the scenes. Like, what happened is that the CEO, the COO, the CFO, they all got off scot-free for basically embezzlement, like significant embezzlement. And who got charged? They got this like random management guy with like less than like 0.5% of like the shares, right, controlled by the management, got pegged with all these fucking charges, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone else is just like 20-30% of the company like just walks scot-free. It doesn't really matter.
It's a fall guy. It's like what happened with like every other thing out there. You just need a fall guy.
Exactly. Poor guy.
No, he's probably rich as fuck right now, so I don't really know.
I don't know, he's probably in a prison in China somewhere.
Nah. He's out.
He's hiding with Jack Ma, just like somewhere.
Yeah, what? Have we heard of Jack Ma? I haven't checked on that.
I haven't heard of Jack. Dude, Baba is just like chilling at $210. Like
he must be missing again if Baba's doing good.
Right.
It's not.
I used to love Baba. Baba was definitely one of my top 3 in 2019. If we're transitioning to that right now, but definitely not.
Yeah, I liked it too until it went.
Until it went down.
Well,
yeah,
that's what he says about every stock. If he sees one minute red candle, he's like, I'm out.
Hey, that shit's contagious, man. Once you see one red, you just keep going. You don't want to get into that.
Yeah, but on the 1 minute.
Listen, some people don't hold long term as long as you guys. My long term is 1 month, at most.
Teach their
like you must have like a long-term portfolio though, right?
Like, absolutely. I think everybody should, right? But if you want faster passive income, day trade.
You have to be good at it, though. Yeah, it's also the quickest way to lose money.
Yeah, we offer a Discord, the Stonk CEO's Discord. If you guys go to the description in this video, you can click on the link to our Discord of over 15,000 members.
Click on the link.
Plug.
Yeah, you can plug for our free 7-day trial, and our analysts some of them at least are Josh in the top right, and then me and Alex. We are also on the team. But yeah, check out our Discord. It's a very active community, and we are always there to answer your questions. So if you guys are trying to get into the stock market for just trading or investing in general, it's a great place to start. We have a beginner's guide as well, which is a plethora of like 15-20 different videos that you can watch in your free time of basically the fundamentals of investing and trading. And then we also offer a beginner's classroom as well that Alex spent an immense amount of time on the last couple of months, and that is also in the Discord and in the description for you guys to check out. But yeah,
Just real quick question: what was that last alert that I put out? How much was that worth, Alex?
The Shopify one.
Yeah, it was. What was it? A $260 investment. What was the return?
Yeah, but who closed out of it?
It doesn't matter. I'm there for our people, not my own. You know. What was it? 2,000? That's
yeah,
right.
I'm just saying it did hit 2,000%, but who closed out of it?
Probably everybody.
Probably everyone. Exactly. Paper hands.
Yeah. Hey, we can show you what to buy, but after that, it's up to it's up to you to do what you want with it.
Yeah, we can't click it. We can't click the sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, like once you join the server though, like you can go to our daily recap and you can see like all of our analysts' trades as well. We have our intern that they do or he does, Zach Zedoff, if he's watching this. A little quick shout out to Zach. But he does the daily recap every single day of every single trade that is closed between our analysts. So you guys have full transparency of what we're getting and getting out of on a day-to-day basis and seeing our win rate and stuff like that. So you could see Josh's calls that he's been getting into and stuff, and he's our YOLO guy, so to say, but he can make you a lot of money too. He sets tight stop losses and he lets them run. So
no, we got some freaking awesome analysts in our Discord.
Yeah.
We got Ryan, Ace, all those guys. Those guys have awesome win rates and everything. And even if you have like small accounts, they have plays for you, and you guys can learn as you go. That's the most important thing I think that our Discord offers, is you can get into these trades, you can see what others are doing, but as you like start doing it yourself, you start to learn as you go. So
Yeah, and also all of our plays are, it's tailored for all types of investors. We got John that does long term, right? Andy does a little bit of shorter swings, right? So you dabble, but you give out that kind of information to help people. You got Alex that does long and short term. You got me that's mainly day trade and swing trade at most a week. So we got a little bit of flavor for everybody, whatever your taste is. So everybody should definitely check it out.
yeah, and for all account sizes, like we have specific small account alerts. We have debit spreads as well. So if you want to be more like risk managed with your option trades, if you're just getting into it and want lower theta in your trades, then you can tack on some debit spreads that we have analysts that give you those as well. But we have an all around the table type of calls for you guys as well. And then we don't just get into calls too. Like we have guys, like if you're like a day trader, like what Josh was saying, and we're in a downtrend, and we are constantly, like we have Kindred, and then Josh will be doing it, who will be doing puts on the day-to-day for you guys. So like if the market is red, you're not just going to be sitting on your hands. You always have an opportunity to see what we're getting in and getting out of. But to change the subject, now that we're talking about the stock market and stocks, our last segment was just to talk about our top 3 favorite stocks right now, and arguably for the rest of 2021, and just moving on for like these next few years as we fully recover in our economy. So Caleb, you're showing me last night that list that you're looking at. What are your top 3 favorite stocks from that you're looking to scale into, or potentially even add to if you already have a position in it?
Yeah, so my top 3 are definitely not on that list. So just that list was, so basically what John was talking about, I compiled like a bunch of companies. I'm a long-term investor as well. I was training like the Warren Buffett method of like growth investing, like whatever. Anyways, all these companies like fit the criteria for like IPO the last 3 years kind of thing, and like they look like promising in the future, but we could talk about that more later. Anyways, the 3 companies I'm looking at really are middlemen. I'm a huge proponent of like, it's called the toll gate or toll booth kind of technique of investing, where the people that made the money in the gold rush weren't the people that had the gold, it was the people that sold the pickaxes, right? So my 3 are AMT, Visa, and Crown Castle. Those are the 3 I absolutely love, right? Because Crown Castle and AMT kind of bounce off each other, but in that space, it's 5G, right? They are incredible. In terms of AMT, they have 80% of net profits, right? They still have 20% of like actually the revenues going towards expenses, which is just unreal. It's an unreal margin. And on top of it, AMT is the only company, right, that's doing 5G infrastructure where Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint are having these 10, 12, 5, whatever, long contracts with these guys where it's guaranteed revenue. You can predict the revenue, you can predict the growth of the company, and they're doing it internationally. And they're the only ones doing it. And it's kind of weird, but they're the only ones doing it right now, which is kind of crazy. Because if you look at the 5G space, which is going to be massive in the next few years, right? It already is massive. It's not Verizon, T-Mobile profiting off it. They're gonna have the same customers. They're gonna charge the same rates. It's these companies that have bigger weights, more things on their towers. They're gonna profit. So AMT, Crown Castle. Crown Castle's doing fiber, so it's like more like inner city stuff. So it bounces off each other though. And then Visa, like I think that's a very clear choice. You could do MasterCard too, but I like Visa better. It's just like they're a great intermediary. They are the middleman for transactions in the financial world. And if you look at cash is just going out of business. In 2015, it was like 85% of Sweden used cash, 50% of America, or it didn't use cash, 50% of America. We've crossed that threshold. We're at like 65, 70, especially with COVID. It's even more now where it's like people are just using your cards, Venmo, etc. And Visa's like the main guy for that. And like all the institutional banks use them as a middleman. So those are my 3 personal favorites.
Dude, plus all these like cryptocurrency like credit cards or debit cards that they're like implementing, like crypto.com.
Crypto.com, that's all Visa.
They're all partnered with Visa.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you like looked into that. Like, dude, like those are pretty cool. Like if
the rewards are kind of sick.
Dude, like you can literally, like, I don't know if you saw them, Josh, but like crypto.com, for instance, like you have your portfolio of all your altcoins, your main coin, like Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. And basically when you like do transactions with that card, it converts it to like a stable coin or USD. And then like that's how it's like used as the transaction. And then does Visa pick that up on their balance sheet? Is that how it works? Or have you even like, I haven't even done the research.
No, I think it's probably, I haven't really checked into the 10K, especially in that stuff because it's kind of novel. But I would assume it's via like kind of like a commission kind of thing where they get like part of the revenues, but it's like a subsidiary in a sense.
That's a sneaky way to like to pick up like a position in all these different like altcoins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here to stay. Like that's genius in my opinion. But you were talking about these like semiconductors and like 5G place like companies. Have you looked into Qualcomm yet? Because
I have. Yeah, Qualcomm
5G play.
I think it's a little overvalued, right? But what they're doing is even out of 5G, the technology that they're like creating right now is like very innovative and like it's like what IBM wish they could do essentially is like really breaking into this like AI space on top of it. And they're just like, I love Qualcomm. I think when it comes down in like the next, it probably is coming down right now. It could be a good time to buy if like we're not actually crashing right now, which I don't think we are. Yeah. But all those kind of companies, I think TSM, great long term. It got beaten down because like the chip shortage, right? But like that's not going out of style anytime soon. So a lot of these like semiconductors are also like really good long term plays.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I'm a little different in regards to like the sector for like what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the sports gambling industry, and then I'm looking at Disney. So for the sports gambling industry, I'm watching DraftKings and Penn right now like a hawk. Like I don't know if you've seen those charts, but Penn's all-time high was around $145, and obviously it's had a crazy run up like the last 12 months after its March lows of I think $5 was what it hit. But I don't know, like I've been watching Penn and I've been watching DraftKings, and I probably have more conviction for Penn simply because of the people that are running that company. Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports. I think that he's never lost anything that he's ever tried, and they also spent $0 in marketing with Penn because their entire marketing is just Barstool and like whatever Portnoy decides to like put on Twitter or on whatever he announces with all of his other creators too and all their different podcasts. They're constantly promoting Penn. And they now have their Barstool Sportsbook as well, and they might be dabbling into the daily fantasy sports as well, which would be very, very huge for Penn, and that's a completely new channel of revenue for them, because right now they're basically just a brick and mortar and a sportsbook that are looking to expand into iGaming and daily fantasy sports as well. But like DraftKings, like I was saying about marketing, they spent over $550 million, I think, last year on marketing. And like Draft and Penn, like they spend $0, so like that's a lot of fun. So like Penn, that's just like something to consider.
For Penn's sportsbook, do they have like a physical location or is it just all online?
So their sportsbook is like, yeah, it's not. I mean, they have Penn casinos, and they're going to be adapting a sportsbook within that, and it's going to be the Barstool Sportsbook, and like that's going to be a thing in the next couple of years. But right now, they only have like Pennsylvania, Michigan, I think New Jersey. There's only so many states that legalized Penn Sportsbook or the Barstool Sportsbook in different states. So they're currently going to be rapidly expanding within the next couple of years or the next couple of months even. So like right now, they haven't changed the brick and mortar to the Barstool Sportsbook, but like that's what it's going to be 100%. And they're also going to be having different bars as well across Vegas, Boston, New York, all these different states when they start finally legalizing sports gambling, which is going to be a Barstool bar, Barstool casinos with sports books for Barstool all within them as well. And I just think it's going to be huge.
I agree.
So,
I agree. I agree with that.
So Penn, DraftKings, and you said Disney too, right?
Yeah,
What's up with Disney? Why do you
Well,
pick
I
Disney?
picked Disney too,
Great
to
pick.
be
I
honest.
loved it. Disney is like your 50-year-long pick. Like
Dude,
if you had to
yeah.
pick one.
exactly.
Dude,
Again, I'm a long-term investor, and like I think it's at a great price. My cost average, like sadly, is basically where it's at right now. Like I got into
Yeah.
Disney a little late. I traded
That's
it
weird.
like a year ago before COVID. I got out of it luckily up it was like a 20% trade or whatever. But I mean, those streaming services sales don't lie with Disney Plus. They had 100 million subscribers, I think. They were the fastest to ever do that out of any streaming service. How much don't they own like a portion of Hulu as well, which is
And
competing right up
ESPN.
with
Yep.
well, yeah, obviously, yeah, ESPN, ABC,
Yeah.
all these other different. They basically own cable now. Like
Yeah.
Disney
Yeah, they're
owns
getting into it.
Disney owns the network, and they always get the Super Bowl. They always get all these other big events, but it's more so like the streaming service is just continuing, and like that's like eventually going to be their main source of revenue, and then the real estate is well behind it, and then also now they're finally opening up all these theme parks again. Like you just went to Disneyland, right, Alex? Like a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago.
I
It
actually
was
did
fully
pick
open.
Disney solely because I like picking stocks because I actually experience what they're like personally, like on a personal level. So I picked Disney as well because I went to Disney 2 weeks ago. It was not the greatest of an experience, to be honest, but it's always fun for everyone. The environment there is amazing, and the people, there's just so many people there, dude. Like I couldn't find a place to sit there, and supposedly it was supposed to be like 50% occupancy or something like that, which I've never seen so many people there in my life. And just going back to like when I was a little kid, I would go to Disney and you could actually walk like in front of you, but this last week when I went is just insane. Like you can't even walk in front of you at all. You can't find a place to sit. The lines are excruciatingly long. But that's just showing me how awesome of a company Disney is, and like how much people want to go there and experience that, not only for their parks, but in other ways they're renovating or innovating in other ways with their streaming, just like John said. So
And what were your other two?
my other two are CVS and Nvidia. Actually, Nvidia's
Nvidia.
up. Yeah, Nvidia's up 42% year to date right now, and just this last week, I think, how much was it up? Like it got like what 17 on the 17th. It went from $700 to 773. So why I picked that is I actually just read a Barron's article about Nvidia not only being a chip company and like a video game company. I think most like PCs have a Nvidia GPU in them, but I just read this Barron article about how they're not only most of their income is coming through those GPUs, but they're innovating in a way to make them like a data center, application center, and like AI intelligence things. I don't know. They're doing a bunch of stuff that I read about that I have no knowledge of really, but that just sounds
I
appealing.
like how we all questioned the Nvidia thing, but you just like glossed over CVS. Why CVS?
Well, CVS. Well, even if the markets are bad, everyone's still going to need healthcare in a way. So
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna
we
be
had the worst
stable.
pandemic the country's ever seen, or the world's ever seen, and CVS did shit for the last year and a half.
Yeah, but we're
They
always
had the
gonna-
most sales they ever have, or ever will have.
Okay,
And
they're doing
they didn't
it
go
in a
anywhere.
way though. They have their COVID-19 vaccine there for anyone to take for free. So they're driving traffic into their.
That'll make money.
Okay,
Free vaccines.
I'm just trying my best. All right, here. But seriously,
What are your picks?
But
Yeah.
if you think about it though, CVS it's not going to go anywhere just because it's got.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Amazon,
a safe pick.
Amazon
That's a safe
might-
pick then.
It is a safe pick, but Amazon
All right.
could take it over. I don't know.
Hey, don't take over my
CVS,
spot.
I'll
I
be
have that
honest.
on my list. I have that on my list.
Amazon, yeah. Okay.
All right,
Before
so
we
mine.
get into your picks, I just want to talk about Nvidia for a second.
Oh yeah.
They're also going to be huge in the autonomous driving space as well,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
like self-driving in general. And like I'm not sure if you know Caleb, but like didn't they just acquire like a huge like partnership or acquisition like not like that too much long ago, like about like
Wait, who in the video?
yeah, Nvidia like 8 or 12 months ago they just made like a huge acquisition. But I
Yeah.
read once, I'm not sure how accurate it is because again I haven't really done much research on Nvidia, but apparently like whenever you're using the internet, like Nvidia is like somehow making money on it. that, like in like that.
Like a Microsoft kind of thing, essentially. What happened
Yeah,
earlier?
like they're a complete monopoly in the semiconductor space, and like my buddy Ryan Millihan, I don't know if you're watching or you will watch it, but he was telling me that Nvidia is gonna buy out AMD. He works in that space. That would be like the biggest like.
That'd be crazy. I don't know if that would be allowed. Like legally, I don't know if that'd work.
Yeah, no, right?
It wouldn't be.
I forget what he was saying, but he's a fucking smart kid. Like he went to high school with me, and then he dropped out of college after like a semester, and he started working for MIT. And now he's down in Mexico. He's doing like he's making like doing well. Good for the kid, but
then let's load up in AMD friggin' long calls for like 2 years from now.
Literally, dude. Like,
like come on.
But
what
yeah,
is Nvidia? Nvidia is at was it broke 700 now, didn't it?
Dude, it's
Yeah,
like
I just
it's
said
been
that.
up like 4 consecutive days. I think it's at 742
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's something ridiculous, man. But just the last year to date, like I was saying, it's 42% year to date. So from January to June, in the last 5 years, it's up 1,500%. So
If they bought AMD, you're going to see AMD go from 83 to 250. Like boom.
yeah.
I'm personally, so how I invest, I don't invest in long-term companies that I don't understand. So for me, like I can't really speak on Nvidia or AMD because I really don't understand like the business models. I mean, I do understand it, but like I don't understand it per se conceptually and how they grow and that kind of stuff. And it's like I'm not a tech, I'm a finance guy, so it's hard for me to like conceptualize that.
Yeah. And like that article I was reading, their main source of income is their GPUs. So as of right now, and who knows, it might go into that data center thing like I was talking about, and like John was saying, they might be making money off of us some way if we're accessing the internet through data collecting or whatever it is.
Yeah, dude, cloud and data is like where the money's at apparently for these companies.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
I was talking to John about this, was it 2 days ago? There's like that massive security attack in like Australia, right? On the banking system, like those kind of things, like 2 days ago. I think cybersecurity is where a lot of money is going to be at, and like the main guy is like CrowdStrike right now, or CrowdStrike. Yeah. And like their revenues are growing exponentially. It's up like 250% year on year for sales, which is just crazy. And it's like that's 3-4 years in a row now. And their like infrastructure is unmatched. It's like not necessarily the only player in town, but like they are like the dominant force right now.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I was just actually checking out McAfee, or however the hell you say that company. For
McAfee, dude. Oh my god.
I do too, but
it's not good.
Yeah, I do too at the same time, but that stock actually has had a lot of growth in the past couple months. They're making some moves. So that could be along the same lines as what you were just saying.
But what are you thinking, Josh?
Yeah, what's yours?
All right, so mine are more mainstream, and I love them. Amazon, because they win at everything, and if you buy it, you're going to make money. Nike, they have their hands in everything sports related. They're going to have their hands in everything sports betting related. They have their hands in everything clothing related. So they have multiple avenues of revenue. They have multiple industries that they're in. So I think long-term, like very long-term, Nike, top dog. You could also kind of flip-flop that with Adidas, whichever one you want to throw in there.
I mean, dude, Nike is deep into the creator economy as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
The creator economy is getting absurd. Like, I was watching the No Jumper podcast, and they were saying how, like, the creator economy is going to like, it's exponentially growing, and, like, creators are literally about to be getting, like, $10-12 million deals, like, in the next 10 to 12 years. Like, that's how the growth track is working with just, like, in general, because everyone wants to be a creator now, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, you look at Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan on Spotify, right? Creator. He went there, and then Spotify just offered that Call Her Daddy from Barstool. They wanted to offer her millions of dollars.
20 mil, dude. 20 fucking million dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, Josh, I have a question for you about Nike in particular.
Yep.
So with like the growing trends of ESG, are you concerned Nike kind of might get left in the dust of a lot of these institutional investors because of their former problems of like sweatshops and like Chinese workers and all those kind of like Asian countries?
No.
You don't think so?
No, absolutely not. Because no other, unless they have a competitor that is like really goes on the war path and is like, we don't have any, like, we can prove right now that none of our stuff is Chinese sweatshops, and but all their competitors are doing it too. So I'm not worried about that at all. Because once everybody demands, not everybody demands a change, but once a competitor starts to change, Nike will too. They have the financials to be able to do it. So they're just waiting for the right time to.
You know what's cool about Nike is well, everyone knows this, that they partner with the top tier athletes and everything with their clothing. And then as NFTs, this is a different topic to go into maybe in a later episode, but NFTs are starting to become like a huge thing with athletes. So Nike could incorporate that in some way, I think, and just make $1 bazillion.
Oh, they will. That'll be short term money.
Yeah.
That'd be on the short term. But yeah, so I'm gonna go on to my third one though, because Nike's kind of boring. Also, is this one Verizon? And
You
it's
hate
kind
Verizon.
of so. Oh
So
fuck yeah, I hate Verizon.
You yell at Verizon every day.
Dude, I like stuff that makes me money. I hate E-Trade too, and I use it every day. The only reason I pick Verizon is long term because I think Amazon will buy them.
Why?
Amazon will buy Verizon.
If you had to pick one, they're gonna either buy T-Mobile, they're gonna buy Verizon, they're gonna buy some sort of provider.
I don't know if we're getting to a certain point, especially with the new chair, right? Is that a lot of these big tech companies are going to get clamped down? There's already talks about Facebook being split up between Instagram and Facebook itself. I don't know if Amazon's going to allow to acquire any more companies at this point.
Yeah, they will. They'd be able to acquire it. They would just do it in a.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
They would just finagle it.
Yeah, but like,
It'll
imagine
happen.
Verizon. The market cap of Verizon is $230 billion. Like that's a lot of money, and I personally don't see like the SEC allowing that, or like the antitrust committee.
It will. It all depends on who they pay off. It'll work. And I'm not saying that's another one like Verizon. I would say, like I said, T-Mobile, Boost Mobile, maybe a smaller one then.
Cricket?
Something with less of a market cap.
I don't know.
Dude, Facebook, like, behind everything, like, well, just chilling. They're acquiring so many VR companies right now. Like, they're gonna monopolize that entire, like, software and space. Like, before we even realize how big VR is. Like, it's, like, they genuinely believe that VR is its own economy. And, like, they're just picking up, like, every single VR company. I think they acquired one, like, 2 days ago. Like, I saw that, too.
I have a fourth pick, though. I went on a limb here, and John should like this one. Silvergate Capital.
What's that?
Ha! Knew you'd ask. So they're a financial company, kind of like a banking company, but they are extremely invested in cryptocurrency. I shouldn't even say invested. They are one of the largest cryptocurrency, we'll call it cryptocurrency banks, that allow investors to invest cryptocurrencies and deposit cryptocurrencies. And they've gone, I'm looking at the chart now, they went absolutely wild during that bull run. They went from a stock price of like $17 all the way up to 150 within a couple months, and now in the next couple months they're projected to go back up to that price. And I could see that just keep going and going and going because they really don't have much overhead either. They don't do a lot of investing themselves. They're just taking in people's money in cryptocurrencies. So
they're just a crypto bank.
Essentially, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Check it out. Google it. Silvergate Capital. It's a good one.
Shit.
It's a little bit of a wild card out there, but not really. It's. I think it's pretty solid if you believe in the cryptocurrency going up. Like if you think cryptocurrency is going to be the future, it's going to be the end all be all. I think Silvergate Capital is going to be right up there with all the banks.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find my like blockchain like exposure, like investment sort of say, or like crypto that isn't crypto. And like the only thing I can think of right now is just like MicroStrategy. Like that's the only thing that catches my eye.
Yeah.
But like I needed like Mara, Riot, like SOS, Elon, like none of those mining companies are intriguing to me. I think they're gonna
they're all garbage.
You get your enough exposure, Kathy Woods.
Yeah,
get that ARC fund.
Literally, yeah. Like I have my ARCs that she like holds like the GBTC, and I have GBTC in my Roth as well. But like, and then of course like my Square, PayPal.
Dude, you should be all over Silvergate Capital, man. I don't know how you're not. Dude, it's the price point right now. All right, so it's $94.82 right now. Had a 50. Days range was 100. 52. 52-week range. It hit $187. So it's down 50% from where it was back in February. If you really believe that cryptocurrency is going to the moon, you got to load up on this.
I just have to do research on their fundamentals and everything.
Screw the research. It's going. It goes.
If
it's
you guys
going.
haven't learned yet, Josh is the YOLO type of mentality. So
I do, but I do it. I have a method to my madness. I do research, but I do a little bit different research because I'm more short term. So,
man,
anyways, next segment. Ba-ba-boom. What are we getting into now?
I think we're done.
I think that was it.
Yeah, we're done. It's been an hour, and we said that we
Yeah.
keep it under an hour. Our first one.
Yeah, it's almost exactly an hour.
It
That's
is
impressive.
exactly an hour, actually. Right now.
Wow, I like that. I like that.
Josh got a
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
clock in his head ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, like we're gonna be doing these every single week. I think we're just gonna record them and then then we'll have them uploaded like Sunday nights at like 8.
Why
9.
don't we have our viewers make that decision?
All right. Well,
We can-
comment. Well, first of all, comment questions, guys, in the video of what you want us to answer next week on the video. We're probably gonna answer 4 or 5 of them at the end of every episode. That's what we're gonna do. Just comment questions, give us a thumbs up as well, and also just let us know if you guys want us to do a live streaming type of podcast thing, or if you're fine with just like a Sunday night submission. All right. Okay, guys. So that was the video. That was our first episode. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see us next week. Probably gonna be a Sunday posting, but yeah, common questions, like I said before, and then we'll try to answer a few of them in the next video. But peace out.
See you guys.
Oh, we got.